only 30% of Americans do preventative maintenance on their HVAC systems. Today we're going to talk about that stat and a few others. This story coming from a company called DuraPlas, a provider of plastic products in the agriculture, industrial, energy, and greenhouse industries. And they released a study that reveals that Americans intend to use more non-HVAC alternatives to cool their homes as inflation continues and temperatures rise in what is turning out to be warmer than normal summer. DuraPlas partnered with third-party service platform Pollfish and asked 1,000 U.S. adults around the country to share how they were planning to cool their homes this summer. And so I wanted to go through a few of these stats, found this article, and I just thought it was very interesting. The fact that only 30% of Americans schedule preventative maintenance on their HVAC systems. I talked about this stat the other night on our live that we do. We do a live show every Tuesday night. If you've never joined us, definitely check that out. We take heating and air questions live. Actually, some other pros jump on that show sometimes as well, and we try to answer those questions. So that's usually at 8:30 on Tuesday nights, and that's Eastern Standard Time. So find out what that is in your time zone. But when I went over that stat the other night during the show, a couple of the folks on our live show weren't surprised. That they said that they actually thought that number was a little high. I can tell you in my area, that number seems a little low, at least with our customers. And I don't know if that's because my guys are just really good at educating the customer on why it's important, or if that's just maybe our area. Maybe homeowners are just more inclined to take care of their stuff, or I don't really know. But I did think it was interesting, the guy that I was talking to, how he said in his area he thinks 30% would be a little high. Let's go through a few of these other stats. It said in addition to the 30% of Americans that schedule preventative maintenance, it also said 60% would follow a technician they trusted to a new firm, the study reveals. So if a technician's working for company A and you really like them and you trust them, if they go to company B, they have no problem switching companies. It's not the company, it's the technician that they have grown to like, which I also find very interesting. Especially as a business owner, I've got some really good technicians that work for us. And so that would obviously not be ideal if we lost customers, if one of our technicians were to leave, but it also speaks to how consumers really appreciate a good technician today. I think that good technicians are hard to find, let's put it that way. And so let's go through a few of these others. It said that the survey was completed at the beginning of June 2023 and found that most Americans, while still keeping their homes at an average of 70-degree temperature, no matter how hot it got, intended to use alternative methods to air conditionings to keep their homes comfortable in the summer heat. In regard on how they plan to do that, the survey found that 77% were changing how they plan to beat the summer heat due to inflation. More than 45% plan to keep blinds and curtains closed, and nearly 40% plan to use ceiling fans more. More than 30% anticipated keeping their windows open at night. Now, what was interesting about that was, depending on what part of the nation you are, obviously if you're up north, opening the windows will help more than it would if you, say, lived in the South, where even at night, sometimes it's hotter outside than it is inside. So opening windows, that's not going to help much. It said folks living in the northeastern parts of the U.S. plan to open their windows at night, 37% compared to 22% in the South or Midwest. At least I think that's what it's saying. It's kind of worded a little weird. Another one they point out is 1 in 3 homeowners, so about 33% of the folks that did this survey admitted to having concerns about the health of their HVAC system, while 15% said they haven't even thought about it. And I would be curious, that 15%, are they just in denial that they don't take care of the system and they just, don't think about it much? Or are they a part of the folks that actually do have preventative maintenance and maybe that's why they don't think about it as much? This article does not tell any more than just that 15% said they don't even think about it. The article goes on to say most respondents said that they do take measures to reduce stress on their HVAC systems, but very few actually said they followed the best practices recommended to them by HVAC professionals. Now, I wonder if that's because they don't trust them or if maybe there's other factors involved. In order to maintain the system health, the survey revealed 30% of homeowners schedule preventative maintenance, 27% regularly clean their outdoor condensing unit, and 23% consistently check blades and belts. I think that's saying that the homeowner themselves, that 1 out of every 4, right? If that's saying that 23%-ish, 1 out of every 4, if it was 25%, that would be 1 out of every 4. Consistently check the blades and belts. It went on to say, I'm going to wrap up with this, that this may be in part due to the fact that many homeowners don't understand their HVAC systems, possessing only a broad knowledge of how they work. That's why we're here, right? That's why we have this YouTube channel. That's why we have this website, newhvacguide.com, to kind of help homeowners with some of this stuff. The survey found that 24% of respondents knew the size of their HVAC system. So that's, again, only 1 out of every 4. 14% knew the role of each component. And I would actually say 14% is probably a little high. I mean, when they say knew the role of each component, are we talking about knew the role of each of the indoor and outdoor units, or are we talking about the actual components in the system? I'm assuming, based on that they just talked to homeowners, that maybe they're saying just the indoor and outdoor units, what they do, what their role is in the grand scheme of things, and then the thermostat itself. And then it says, and 16% knew what a SEER rating is. So I thought that was an interesting article. What do we take from this? What can you get out of all of this? I think ultimately, if you're watching this video, most homeowners that even come across our content are going to be a little better informed than the average homeowner, and that's by default, right? You're watching stuff to try to learn more about your system, learn what you should be doing, learn if someone is taking advantage of you. That's some of the things we talk about on lots of our videos. And then obviously not just getting educated on it, not just learning more about your heating and air system, but also taking action on that knowledge. You know you should be getting stuff maintained better, taking that action. If you know that you should have some sort of component added to your system to help it clean the air or do something else, surge protection, something that should be protecting that system or you in some way. Knowledge is power, but only if you are taking action on that. So anyway, I thought it was a pretty cool article. Let me know your thoughts. Comment down below. I'd love to hear about those. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll enjoy this one even more. It's where I talk about how the HVAC industry is at a point where scammers have more abilities or opportunities than ever before. Check that out. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.